It's a funny feeling, not wanting to hug your own kids. Oh, sorry. Especially when it's usually the other way round. You know, get off me, leave me alone. My baby, I say baby, she's 21. She came home the other night fresh from the outdoor pub and she said, "I love you, mother, you daft old cow." And she launched herself into my arms, then burst into tears. She's having a bit of trouble with her love life. She didn't notice me leaning to the side and turning my head away. She didn't see me try not to breathe. Socially distancing my own offspring, that's what I'm doing. I've always been a bit scared of things. Risk averse, my son calls it. He studied psychology. "Why don't you just go out," he said. "Just get out of this flat and meet a friend for a walk. Just wear a mask, keep a distance, you'll be fine." Well, I was bad enough before. Checking, double checking, triple checking the cooker before I left the flat. You know, after what happened at Grenfell. Demanding all the details of where the kids were going, who they were going to be with, what time they'd be back, had they got their keys, had they got their phone. Now it's, have you got your mask? Have you got your hand gel as well? Now it's wash your hands as soon as you come in. Use your own towel. Where have you been? Did you keep a distance? How many people were there? Following them around with the antiseptic spray. That's no life for people in their 20s, is it? Ollie, who lives on the 15th floor, he came round with a leaflet. It was asking for volunteers to do clinical trials for a COVID vaccine. He lost his dad to COVID. He nearly lost his mum too. We've been in a bubble with them since she was in hospital because he's got autism, you know, so we needed a bit of looking after. They both did, really. Anyway, Ollie's mum did a trial for a COVID treatment while she was ill, and Ollie, he's learned everything you can possibly know about these trials. He's dead keen on them, and he's trying to persuade people to take part in this vaccine trial. My baby, she was up for it straight away. "It's our duty to help," she said. My boy said he would do it, but he also said, "Actually, Mum, it's people like you they need the most. People who wouldn't normally do a trial. People like me." He meant terrified middle-aged women with diabetes and a 20-a-day habit. They need to know how the vaccine works on different types of bodies, he said. Different bodies. He meant fat bodies like mine. Well, it's not going to happen. I can't even bring myself to leave the flat. Ollie came back today. Oh, he's such a good boy. He washes his hands as soon as he comes in. He sits on the other side of the room and is careful not to touch any surfaces. I notice all this now. I'm obsessed with the details. He said, "Will you sign up for the vaccine trials, Mandy?" I said I was too scared. He said, "Why? Have you got any questions? Ask me any questions. I know a lot about it." "They're rushing it through." I said, "They're cutting corners. They're not doing it properly." "They're not rushing it," he said. "They're being very careful with people. They're looking after them very well. It's just all their meetings they usually have, all the red tape and that. They're not doing any of that. That's where they're saving time. Because it's top priority." "Any more questions?" he asked. I didn't really have any. I'm not one of them anti-vaxxers you hear about. I don't think they're trying to inject microchips into us. I don't think they're using us as guinea pigs. I'm just scared. I'm risk averse. And there is a tiny risk of something going wrong. Well, that's why they do these trials, Ollie said, to find out about the side effects. But by this point, stage 3, they've already trialled it on lots of people, he said, so it's only a tiny risk. I told Ollie about not wanting to hug the kids. There's just something about him. He doesn't judge people or take the mickey out of them. I felt like I could tell him anything. He said, I'm not a big one for hugs myself, Mandy, but if you did this trial and the vaccine worked, you could hug your kids as much as you like, couldn't you? You could have a massive big huddle. Well, I couldn't fault his logic. That's what most people want, isn't it? And why not me? If we all waited for someone else to volunteer, we'd never have a vaccine. But I'm still too scared. Ollie and his mum have invited me out for a walk around the park next week. I will go, I think. I need to be brave. So that's a start, and then after that, we'll see.